Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be working on some more buildings. Last time we only built the tree, the little starter house, and the pumpkin farm. So today we're just going to get right started by mining some diamonds. Now luckily for me, I found a good amount of diamonds in this little area, and after I found a few little patches of it, I ended up getting 14 diamonds in total, which I was super excited about. And then I just kept finding diamonds everywhere. I don't know why, but I guess I just got super lucky. So then I went right back to the tree house, decided to put all my loot away, and I started a new sorting system just because the old one was a little inefficient. I then decided to move the villagers into my starter base since I wasn't using that anymore. I decided to kind of make it like a mini trading hall. Then I went to the nether because I just had a bunch of extra gold lying around. I also wanted to try to find some netherite, but first I kind of just traded with some piglins, gotta start at least some. And then a giant group of them started freeing me from this piglin that tried to attack me. And so luckily they got it, but then afterwards another piglin showed up and it actually ended up just going for me. Well, the other piglins just kind of let me die. Just kidding, they didn't let me die, they just let me kind of get hurt by it. But then I decided to start mining some quartz just because I gotta get some XP. My pickaxe wasn't super low, but I do want to make some trades. I did end up getting a good amount of quartz to sell back to my villagers, and then a ghast tried to kill me. Luckily he didn't get me, he almost did, but while I was fighting him, a giant magma cube tried to also get me, and I kind of just ran away. When I tried to go back to the overworld though, a bunch of hoglins followed me through, so they kind of were just running around my village. It kind of was scary, but it was also pretty funny, but they turned into zombie hoglins. After that, I decided that I wanted to start building an auto pumpkin and melon farm, so I got right to work doing that. Now, I'm not the best at redstone, so I had to watch a tutorial on this, and then I decided to add another extra level. I ended up doing 3 levels in the end, but this was supposed to kind of just make my trading with my villagers go a little bit easier and faster, so it was a pretty simple design. I might end up making it a lot bigger, but for now, this is just gonna have to do. It did cost a lot of materials though. That was another main reason why I got some quartz. I did finally buy some diamond armor though. I need to enchant it a lot. I bought leggings and a chest plate from my armor, but I decided to try to enchant them. They didn't give me the best enchants, which is okay, but I then went to the nether and I found some ancient debris. Now luckily I ended up getting around 4, but it was only in one mining trip. And I got lucky because this one was super duper close to the other one, but after a while I only got these other 2, and that's all I got for this entire trip. And then I decided that I should probably go back to my melon farm, just make sure it's working right. It's a good thing I did because I found some flaws with it, but we're not getting very many pumpkins or melons right now. But next I decided that I should probably put something out in this open space, and to kind of tie in the medieval theme, I decided that I should build a castle over here. So I started getting some dirt just to kind of level out the area, and then I decided to just start making the base, filling it in. I didn't spend too much time trying to make it so it was a good enough area. I kind of just started building, but I was pretty proud of where it was coming along. I had to watch a YouTube video on how to do it because I'm not a very good builder. So I will put the link of the video that I saw in the comments down below. But I was really happy with the design. I did change a few things. I didn't like the design of the top, so I did kind of fluke that a tiny bit, but nothing super noticeable. So I started working on the roof, and then halfway through I decided that I should probably actually see how it looks compared to all the other builds. And after I did that, I did change it a bit, but it was looking really nice, and I didn't want to change the interior too much because I'm gonna kind of leave that for now. One thing I did realize though is that I desperately needed a cleric. I have too much gold and rotten flesh that I'm really gonna need one. And I remember that I found one at the very beginning, so I decided to go back to Spawn Island. I did find a pillager outpost there, and I had an iron golem help me, but eventually I kind of just left it, well, just because I almost died. But so here you can see me running away in terror as all these pillagers just keep chasing me. I did end up finding another village, but it didn't have a brewing stand in it. But I forgot that I had just raided the pillager outpost, so I accidentally started a raid. Luckily, it wasn't too hard. I only ended up dying twice, but I had set my respawn point there, so it was a very minor thing. And I died twice at the end just because of some evokers. But now I'm on my journey all the way back to the spawn point. Luckily, it didn't take too long. That's a joke. It took me maybe an hour to get there just because I didn't do the best. I did find a giant cave that had a bunch of skulk and it had a bunch of diamonds and stuff, but I didn't want to spend too much time on it just because when I found out it had a sensor, it blinded me, and so I started freaking out. So I decided to just get the heck out of there. Now eventually I finally reached the surface, and I did end up finding where I had to go. I got the brewing stand and I made it all the way home. I soon started working on a new place to put this cleric, and I was actually pretty happy with the design that I chose. I decided to kind of go for like a watchtower type looking thing. I did end up falling and like hurting myself a good amount. I didn't die luckily, but I decided that I wanted to try to put some like purple crystals around just to kind of, you know, add to the look of like a mystical type person or like a potion brewer. I did want to try to make that part of the roof, but I didn't like how the design ended up, so I fixed it. I kind of just put a pattern there. And then I put down the brewing stand in the bed, and then we had a cleric villager soon after, and I had a lot of stuff, but I did end up kind of just fully like upgrading him all the way just to make it easier so I could get ender pearls so that I could beat the ender dragon, which is my plan for the next video. Next, I decided that I should probably start focusing a little more on like making the area look really nice. So I kind of got some bone meal and I started spreading it everywhere far away from my house. I didn't want this to look like just a big green like lump of stuff. And the reason I was doing this is because I like doing this design where you put moss in front of the grass blocks just so it kind of gets rid of all the brown, because I don't have like any shader packs or anything like that. And I was really happy with how it turns out because it looks a lot more clean than with just the brown. Like as you can see, this is the right side and that's the left side without the moss. And luckily it was sunset, so it was time to go to bed. But yeah, so I also discovered that if you take a glowstone thing and you put a moss block over it, it really hides the look of torches. Later I did find out though that you can just do the same thing with torches, which is really nice. So I kind of just went around doing that, just making the place look a lot more natural instead of just looking very like splotched with torches and stuff like that. I just kept ending up adding a lot more things just to make the area look a lot more natural and nice. I added these little bushes that you can take a moss block and then one of like the azalea tiny things. And I was really happy with how it turned out. Now compared from how it looks by the castle to where the main area is, I think it looks a lot more clean. So I decided that I should probably spread that out more into the area that I'm looking. Just because you can't really see the brown part at the bottom of the grass, which just kind of looks pretty ugly in my opinion. So I also wanted to make a map of the entire area just so I could see like what empty space I actually have. So I decided to just cut down a bunch of my sugar cane and start making the maps where I had to. And the area was actually looking really nice. I don't like how the castle looks on the map just because it's just a circle. I do think I'm gonna add a little more of a boxy shape at the end, but after a while I did find 2 wandering traders, which I didn't think was possible. But the good thing about it now is that I have the glass villagers, and so I can trade it with one of the cartographers, and I can just kind of get this infinite source of XP, which is working really well. But soon after I realized that I needed some more villagers. I was aiming to get a Thorns 3 villager, but luckily for me I got a really good deal of an Efficiency 5 book for only 23 emeralds. So I kind of just took that opportunity and I put it right on my axe, so now my axe is just super duper powerful. I did get right back to work though to try to get a Thorns villager, and eventually I did end up getting it, but I only got a Thorns 2 villager for 14 emeralds, so I just decided that's probably the best I can do. I finally just decided to check my melon and pumpkin farm, and from all the work I had done, it had so much. So after trading with a bunch of my villagers, I decided that I should start upgrading my armor. I did buy 2 of my chest plates from my villager, and I upgraded both of them just to see what I could get, and then I combined them, added some Thorns 3, and added a mending book, and we were all set to go. We built a castle, we built a nice brewing place for my villager, we built an auto pumpkin and melon farm, and a trading hall. So I guess thanks for watching. I'm really happy with how this whole project has been turning out, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.